and Happy New Year. It's January the 8th. We're heading to Bicester Heritage for the first scramble of the year. I'll say we are being driven by Todd, my good friend here. You might say hello, but he's busy driving. Forgive the booming noise, but he's picked me up in his 996 Turbo. So it's got, seems to have sort of an aftermarket exhaust on it that makes a pretty big racket. So heading to Bicester Heritage, and what we're going to do is just have a look round and see what kind of cars there are that we might like, what things are interesting, and we'll pick out our favourites and let us know whether you think you know, they're any good, which ones might your favourites be, which ones you saw if you were there. Yeah, so obviously I'm not going into the Esprit, more about that in a different video. But it should be a good day. There's usually a good variety of cars at Bicester Scrambles. So Todd is he has his own channel on YouTube, Mr. Todd Gibbs, and he spent the last nearly 2 years now taking apart and putting back together a Porsche 928. So you know, maybe he'll be looking for Porsches over at Bicester. Is there anything particular that you're interested in seeing, Todd?
I am a Porsche man, as you know. So anything Porsche I like. But I was born in Essex, so I can't hide my love for spoilers. So anything like a Ford Sierra Cosworth, a Nissan Skyline, anything that's got spoilers that are fitted at the factory, I love.
So interestingly, I was born in Essex too, not far from Todd, probably only about 15 miles from where he was born at a similar time. And I'm not that much of a fan of fast Fords. You know, I did have Fords as we had Fords as a family sort of as I was growing up, and my first car was a Ford Escort Mark III. But yeah, never really been into the whole kind of spoiler thing. I think, you know, for me they spoil the design, but each to his own. That's a good thing about cars. Everyone has a different thing that they like most, so we'll see what we can find. Catch you later. Right, we're on then. Okay, so here's first up then. Saab 900 Turbo picked out by Todd. What do you reckon then?
One of my favourite cars. Unfortunately, this is a 4-door. I do like the 2-door with the aero pack on it.
Yeah.
But this is a decent run. You know, it's a good effort. There's just something about the side. If you look from the side, it looks like it's going backwards.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And they have different wheels. The better ones have got sort of, you can either get the sort of three.
The aero 3-spokes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Cool. All right. And actually, just 2 cars along. What were you talking about earlier?
Another dream car of mine, the Skyline. That is an R32, I believe, isn't it?
I have no idea. This is all a bit.
Might be a 33.
I'm not into JDM at all. But yeah. So early Range Rover, and why am I picking out a Range Rover? What's the significance of this early Range Rover to you and me?
I should know, shouldn't I?
1970.
Oh, okay.
We were both launched in 1970, and so was this.
Yeah, I think we look a bit better than this though. Although this is in amazing condition.
Well, it's probably had a restoration which we've not been able to have ourselves. But what I think is interesting about this one is it doesn't appear to have been Kingsleyed, because most of the ones of this age seem to be done by Kingsley, where they've been sort of tarted up and resold for 6-figure sum.
And they're pretty local to here as well.
Wing mirrors actually on the wings, which is an interesting thing. It just beats me. I know, back in the day, obviously all cars had wing mirrors actually on the wings, but it beats me how you even see anything coming. So you imagine you're driving along and you're looking all the way down there to the wing mirror to actually see something coming past you. Glad I never had to do that. So here's the next spot. So you can go from one extreme to another, something really old to something brand new. So 296. So what do you think?
I love it. I think it looks fantastic, doesn't it? I've not really been up close to one of them before.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd have the Fiorano stripe things.
I don't know.
Apparently it's quite an expensive option for those stripes.
I think it's pretty good.
But yeah, that's a nice thing. Well out of our price range though. Another Todd spot. So is this like you used to have one of these, right? A white one.
I had one about 7 years ago, a white one, yeah, it's fantastic. It was like a dream car for me, the classic sort of late 70s, early 80s yuppie mobile from London.
Yeah. I don't know, just too much going on for me.
It's got the big spoiler.
Yeah. I suppose in black you can't see the shark fin either, can you?
This is something really cool about the shape. It's all around the rear. Come around the rear.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, see, look at the size of those overriders. They're massive, great lumps, aren't they? Well, not even overriders, I don't even know what they are. Right, here's my first pick. Lancia Fulvia. Beautiful looking thing. So, this is what did Jeremy Clarkson say about these? It's like as beautiful as the sun setting over Charlize Theron. Lovely. Odd sort of colour though. It's a real sort of dark brown, which doesn't, you know, it's not too bad. To be fair, there's not many colours that don't suit these. They're beautiful cars.
Don't slate the colour too much. That's the colour of my 928.
It's very true. Yeah, underneath all the white. Yeah.
I've got a lot to say about it.
All right. Well, so we picked out this Honda NSX. Principally because we're joined by Damien, who apparently had one. Tell us about the Honda NSX.
It is the only car I regret selling and the best thing I've ever owned.
Was it this kind of vintage one? Because that looks like a slightly buggered up one with bits of.
I think that was
body kit and things.
Slightly older. Mine was a very late pop-up model, 2001.
Yeah.
I'd love to find its whereabouts sometimes to say hello to the owner again.
Yeah. Was it yellow or red?
Red.
It was red.
How can you tell the age of it? Like, can you tell if that's an early one or a late one?
I don't know. Well, it's certainly past sort of 99. There were just very few cars. I think that is from the wheels. It's a slightly later model. So it might be the revised 3.2.
Okay.
But I don't know whether. I think as Stuart says, it looks like it might have been buggered about because it's been Type R.
Yeah, but
that back end doesn't look right to me. It's all that spoilerage. It's not my cup of tea. But there you go. But yeah, if you
a yellow Type R, I think it's in the owners.
if you know anything about these, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few of these about, largely because they just survived, don't they? They're kind of like the cockroaches of the classic car world. These big old Mercedes. Well, this one is not a particularly big one, but unusual colour as well. They just go on and on, these cars. Probably a dream car. Aston Martin V8 Volante. I don't know. I just like the way that it's a kind of proper muscly car. That I'd kind of probably fancy myself as a Timothy Dalton kind of era James Bond in one of those.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The front is pretty, you've got to give it to them. They are an attractive car, they've just got muscle written all over them.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago. These were like, 30, 40,000 because no one, all the Aston people said, oh, they're not proper Aston Martins, but they're just beautiful. The coupes as well are really nice.
That does look fantastic in the green.
Yeah. So I can't not pick out a DeLorean because I maintain that for this sort of money, which is about 35, 40,000 now, there's nothing else you could buy that would get so much attention at a car show. You could park this against, the latest Ferraris and stuff, and they'll probably still get more attention, particularly if you've got the doors open.
Yeah, I completely agree. And there was a time, probably 3 years ago, that Stuart, you remember that we nearly bought one of these. We're looking at bringing one in from the US.
20 grand, get it landed in the UK for 25, get it tweaked 30,000, but yeah, now they're starting at 30, I think, for bringing them over.
Yeah, it's just so cool. That's not. I mean, the front of this one's a little bit tiny.
It's not the best condition one, but
it's not the aluminium.
No, it's stainless steel.
Oh, stainless, isn't it?
Yeah, stainless steel brush stain. No.
Although someone's redone a lot of it.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
So we're here just by the Road Rat building, and they seem to have been sponsored by Lotus today. So we've got an Emira and the Eletre, which I'm not that bothered by, to be honest. That one doesn't really do it for me.
Not the best colour for it.
But I love an Emira. It's kind of, I suppose, a spiritual successor to Esprit.
Having just watched all of Harry's garage videos on
yeah.
I just really like them now.
And I've just no idea why he's chosen the grey one. Lotus isn't grey, but each to his own. Right, bingo, here we go. Lotus Esprit S3, just like mine, except this one's yellow. So this one's owned by Nick Berg, who writes for Haggerty. And we've been following his story about, breakdowns and whatever he's had. He's just had it repainted actually in yellow.
I think the question is, do you prefer yellow over your red?
Well, his was red originally, but he had it recoloured yellow. I mean, it does look good, doesn't it? And it also telling me again that I need to go back to black bumpers because we've had it before, or some owners before that made them put them red.
Was that one of the original colours?
Yellow was, yeah. No, it's right. It's period correct.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I prefer the red though, I've got to say.
Do you? Well, it's more common red. I mean, it's certainly eye-catching in yellow, isn't it?
What about the wheels? These are...
So BBS wheels. So typically they'd either be all silver, or if you had a turbo, tended to be the gold inners. These sort of been painted black.
So has he restored this, or has it just been resprayed?
No, he's well, you follow it on Haggerty's website, but it's basically he's paid out a lot of money to have it repainted, but they had to take it right back down to the sort of fiberglass and build it back up again.
It's good though. It does look good.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. So unmistakable shape of the Testarossa. So picked out the Testarossa for a couple of reasons. It's got a bit of a twig stuck in his door there. One that Todd used to have one, and I don't know. I had a go in it, and I suppose I wasn't that confident because I hadn't got the right shoes on. But
You're too big as well.
Probably a little bit too big. Just the geometry inside didn't really suit, but they just made a lovely noise, didn't it?
Yeah, they're a surprisingly usable car. The only problem with them is that they draw too much attention when you drive it.
Yeah. Oh, you did get a lot of thumbs up, didn't you, on the motorway and stuff when we went out in it.
But you're right. I mean, it makes an amazing noise. This is a really early version as well.
As wide as I am tall.
Perhaps you should lay down next to it.
I'm not going to do that. No, I've been there, done that with the Lotus. I'm not doing that again.
Fair enough. But it's nice. It's looking good.
Yeah, and still compared to the likes of, and I know maybe they're a bit more special, but the F40 Enzo, that kind of thing. But they are iconic Ferrari, and they're what, 125 now, something like that.
Yeah, that's a ballpark.
Yeah,
surprisingly good value for what will be one day an amazing car.
Yeah. So Porsche Carrera GT, usually in silver. This one's black, and mid-engine V10. So everything that a Porsche normally isn't. But as you can see, it's got quite a bit of interest being shown.
I think everyone's huddling close to it because it's warm.
Maybe it's because it's warm, yeah. I must confess, it doesn't really do anything for me. The only thing I find mildly interesting about it is they've got different coloured wheel nuts on either side, so you know which way you're around to go. That's probably the only interesting thing I've got to say about the Carrera GT. So, as I said, these usually come in silver, and here indeed is a GT Silver GT. And this is what I was saying about the wheel nuts. So on the left-hand side, you've got red ones. And then on the right-hand side, you've got blue ones. Because if you got them the wrong way around, then as you drive down the road, they'll all fall off.
They're on spin then or something?
Well, I guess because they all spin in different directions. They've got differently threaded.
It looks much better in the silver. You can actually sort of see the shape of the car a lot better.
Yeah.
Not that rare, apparently.
Seemingly not, no. So Porsche 914. Bit of a kind of curveball, I think. An odd sort of thing from a Porsche. Not like any other Porsche, really, are they?
No, there's the Boxster of its day.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I mean, Boxsters now actually quite a good idea. I haven't seen an early Boxster, but I think it'd be quite a good buy. Less than £5,000 for a half decent one.
It's one of those cars that looks like it's going backwards though.
It is a bit odd, isn't it? Yeah, sort of backwards forwards thing. But then they said the same with the Boxster, right?
True.
Yeah.
True. But it's not unattractive.
It's probably because of these the kind of rear indicators at the front.
It's the brake lights on the front, isn't it? But it's a pretty car.
All left-hand drive as well, aren't they, these?
And this is in amazing condition as well.
It is good, isn't it?
Clearly someone's loved that.
Now, if you can see that through here, but just in the middle there, some ear defenders. So it's obviously not the quietest car. Okay, another pick by Todd, because
that looks like an S4 to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm doing one of these up at the moment. That looks fantastic, though, doesn't it? I mean, we just had a very quick walk around it. What do you mean,
Well,
it looks really good.
Like I said, I mean, I do like the earlier cars. The one that you've got being the sort of S1, if they ever called them that. They obviously didn't, but
it's got a spoiler.
It's got a spoiler. That's my point. It's got a spoiler. It's got extra bits of sort of body trim here and there. That skirt sort of splitter thing around the bottom. It's just, I don't know.
True, but it's in really nice condition.
The back end of them looks not so good. In my view.
fact that the rear lights are completely different, aren't they? Because yours have got the
remodeled
vertical.
a lot. Yeah, they did remodel.
So it's a
the
much
back.
smoother look, whereas like yours have got that kind of modular look almost to the rear lights.
Yeah, that's true. But it is a really nice design. But just the underlying design.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good looking example.
Yeah, there you go
The
then.
interior is good as well. It's this really nice sort of,
Brown.
I want to say 70s, yeah, but obviously this is
It's
an 86
80s, yeah.
car, but it's that brown that looks fantastic, like chocolate brown.
Yeah.
That's a good looking car.
Okay, so we've already talked about 928, but here's an earlier one. So this is a 1980, so it's got these telephone dial wheels, and this is what I'm saying about those lights. They're very different rear lights, aren't they? I think they just look better than the ones that are kind of all faired in.
Yeah, I mean, cosmetically that's identical to mine. Mine shouldn't have the rear spoilers. I don't know whether this is an S, which would validate those spoilers or not, but cosmetically it should be identical. This interior is not original, it's obviously been done, but it's done it really well. Looks fantastic. Just in plain black leather, but it looks like new inside there.
Yeah, it's hard to see with the shine. So it's not an S wheel. The steering wheel's not an S.
No, true.
So maybe it's just like yours had the bumper, had the rear spoiler thing.
The spoiler and the front though.
Oh, you got that
That's
front.
the difference.
That's
I've not got the lift, no.
It's an add-on.
That's been looked after. Really nice looking. Not keen on the colour though, I'll be honest.
No, it doesn't really. Well,
Isn't the best colour.
nothing really zings in this kind of weather, does it? But yeah. Okay, so I think that's about it. It's getting really cold now, and
It's always been cold.
true, yeah. But we had a bit of sunshine, bit of rain. As ever, a massive variety of cars to see, lots of different stuff. So yeah, it's been a good morning.
Highlight of the show for you?
The yellow Esprit,
Of course.
did manage to have a chat to Nick as well, the owner. So yeah, that was probably my highlight. What about yours?
That's a good question. There's one car you didn't film was an AMG GT Mercedes, which I
Oh, I
love,
did
and
see
it was
that.
all
Was the
kitted
black.
up.
Yeah, the massive,
it
I
looked
saw that.
fantastic.
Yeah, lots of body kit on that.
Lots of spoilers.
Lots of spoilers.
Yeah, we don't know what that is, either 2002 or 1602.
No idea, but it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's got spoilers
Oh yeah, spoilers and louvers, you're in.
and flared arches. It's got the lot.
There you go. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Bit of a sort of bits and pieces video, but see you on the next one. Cheers.
Bye bye.